first phase of sherry production is the same as for other wine. What makes sherry unique is firstly the development of flora, a film of yeasts covering the surface of the wine. Secondly, the Solera blending and barrel aging process. And thirdly, the unique fortification process. We are going to explore these at the Williams and Humbert vineyard, which is in the official growing area on the southern coast of Spain.
From this hill we can have a good view of what is the famous sherry triangle. On that direction we have Sanlúcar de Barrameda, which is famous for the manzanilla. It's right next to the sea, yes. Atlantic Sea. Here behind us is the city of Jerez, which is the most important in the sherry region. Is the capital of the sherry region. Yes. And here to the left we have Puerto de Santa Maria, which is also a famous region, and there are some famous bodegas there too. Yeah. All in all, we have 10,300 hectares of vineyard within the sherry triangle. This vineyard where we are now, it's 208 hectares, I think, and it's located in the one of the best districts within the sherry triangle, which is called Valvaina. Right. And it is famous for the quality of the grape, for the good condition of the soil, etc.
Right. And you were saying earlier too that on top of the hill is better.
Because of the highest proportion of chalk. I mean, in the Jerez vineyard, there are 3 different types of soil. Yes. And the best one, because the high proportion of chalk and calcium, is the Alvariza, which is this very white soil. There is another type which is called Alvarizone, where the proportion of chalk is a little bit lower and give less fine sherries. Less fine, more full body sherry, less refined sherry. Right. And the Alvarizone are normally on the lower part of the vineyard, Right. There is a less white soil, is more black. And then the poorest is called Barros, but this is more not in the Jerez Superior area, but in some sub-district outside the Jerez Superior. Right. And this Barros is called for a second quality sherry. Here we have this Palomino Grape, which is our main vine. We haven't got rain tonight, but it is a lot of water on top of. It is just the influence we were talking before, the influence from the sea, and it is almost like if it has been raining the whole night, And you see even here
Es como si estuvieran todos los días regando un poco, ¿sabes?
Sarcilla is what we call.
Clay, isn't it?
Yeah, clay. It's clay. Prepare for collecting, for harvesting the grape with machine, and those over there are with to be cut manual, by hand. Right. Yeah. It's a combination of 3 main elements. The influence of the wind from the sea, of course, the situation of the vineyard. Yes. The more proportion of chalk and calcium, the more Alvariza in the soil, the better for the quality of the grape, and also, of course, the final thing, which is the bodega. All the process of vinification, and that makes the final wine to be a good sherry or not a good sherry. Quality of a sherry. The raw material, the grape, it will not be as important as in other wine,
Right.
First of all, because of the Solera system, that means that you are blending younger sherry with older sherry permanently, so you always compensate one year with another.
Yes.
And also because in the sherry, what is very important is the vinification, you know, the characteristic of the sherry, which is given by the solera.
We were booked to stay the night in the centre of the old part of Cadiz, which is a medieval city. It's very pretty to look at, but the streets are an absolute rabbit warren, so it took us about 5 minutes to get lost and about 3 hours to actually find our accommodation. We'll pick up with Francisco as he takes us through the vinification of sherry, starting with the grapes arriving for processing.
All the grape, you know, from the vineyard, it comes by lorries and small trucks, and we put it down here. See, of course, the doors are open, and you just pull exactly and put all the grape here. No. Yeah, here what this machine does is just to break a little bit the grape, you know, just a small, I don't know, you say triturar. It's not, you don't press, you don't extract the juice here, but just break a little bit the grape and that's all, you know. From here, I mean, it goes through the desvinadores, which is a machine which make a light pressure to get what we call mosto de yema, mosto de primera prensa, the must of first pressure. Yeah. The must of first pressure. That is, this first mass of this first pressure is particularly for the dry finos, for the finos, you know, which is one of the different types of sherry. After this first vertical press, the liquid, the first liquid that we have got from that first pressure goes through a different pipe, and then the rest, I mean the rest of grape, which is still solid, goes to the second press, which is a horizontal press, and from there you get the what we call mosto de segunda prensa. Second pressure. This is more for the oloroso sherry, for the cream sherry, for the more full body sherry. You know, so we have the fino, which is a lighter sherry, and then the oloroso cream, which is has more flavor, more body, more. You know? Antonio Fernandez is the cellar master who is in charge of the production of our product here in the bodega. The grape juice, when it arrives, has around 180 grams of sugar per liter, and in 10 days, 7 to 10 days of fermenting here, we reduce that content to 20 grams per liter, more or less. And then the wine already fermented here goes to the second fermentation, ¿no? La segunda fermentación.
Se producen ahí hasta que ya se quedan a cero, transforman toda la azúcar.
And then in the second fermentation, which lasts around 30 days, 35 days, yes, we call that the slow fermentation. Yes. We transform the remaining sugar in the juice to alcohol, ¿no? So, and we get, tenemos un vino base de 11 grados, ¿no?
Tenemos un vino base, un poco en función de las cosechas, esperamos. Alrededor de 11.
The alcohol strength of that basic wine we have, you know, is around 11 degrees. 11 degrees.
Esto sería un vino blanco.
A white is a normal white wine, you know.
100% de uva palomino.
And with the grape we have seen in the vineyard, which is the Palomino grape. No?
Right.
In the last operation during the fermentation process takes place in December, and what we do is to take the clear part of the fermented wine, and we leave on all the lias. What we call lias are the
Sediment.
sediment, yeah, all the sediment. Well, this is more or less the fermentation process, which lasts around 40-50 days.
Right.
From September until November, and then in December we clean that wine, but without any filtering. It's just what we do is to take the clean part of the tank and leave all the sediment
will be on the
on the bottom. But of course, for the average consumer and for the people in general, they don't like in a sherry bottle to find this sediment. Here we make what we call the fortification of the wine.
Yes.
We add alcohol to 15 degrees for the finos and manzanilla, and 18 or 17 degrees for the oloroso. This is a sobretabla. Sobretabla is a wine which has not yet put in the criaderas and soleras system. This comes from the harvest of year 2003 with alcohol to bring up the strength of the wine up to 15 degrees. This is a sherry of 15 degrees. In the origin, sherry was not let's say, a solera product. We used to sell in the beginning. Yes. We used to sell the sherry by vintage, year by year, right. Different type, different style, different. But there was a moment that someone in England, as a wine merchant or a wine buyer in England, decide to have. I want to have the same style than last year. And so we will start to blend the wines of the same style in order to give a permanent, a consistent flavor. We pass the younger to an older, which is first criadera, and from the first criadera we go to the solera, which is already the wine which is ready for bottling, and depends on the type of wine. We will have a solera of 5 years old, 7, 8, up to, we sell some product of 30 years old, some old amontillado.
Sí, claro. Realmente se embotella,
well, Tony is saying that we do not bottle this first criadera.
Yes.
We go from here. When you take from the solera, you take a certain amount from the solera to the bottling,
right?
For selling in the market, So we have to replenish the amount you have taken from the solera with wine from this first criadera. What you have taken from the first criadera, you have to refill with the wine from the. So this is a permanent aging process and a dynamic aging. It's in contrast to a static aging, which is, you have the wine of the year and then you do not move anymore. We have the wine in big tanks, the wine which we have seen before, and now what we are is refreshing. This is a solera or is a criadera?
No, esto es la primera criadera que estamos rociando la solera.
Yeah, we are taking wine now. This machine is taking wine from the first criadera, and we are refreshing, refilling the solera.
Yes.
So we do that with machine. The process of refilling the solera or the criadera with machine. In the old time, it was done by hand, and that's why the reason why we pile, the cask like this, because at that time we have the solera in the first row, the first criadera, second criadera, third criadera, and by gravity we were making the different movement of transfer of the wine from a younger scale to older scale, and to the solera.
As we leave Williams and Humbert, we say a big thank you to Francisco and his team who provided such an excellent overview to this great product.